Hi, everybody. We are live. We are live.
I'm the touchscreen dream right now.
You're the touch screen.
You got to stand them up to make it. Do you have no sleeves on under that?
On my shirt? No, I got sleeves.
I think you should bloody your eyes up.
Should I just bloody my eyes up? All right. What's up, my babies?
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. Come on, baby.
All right. Hello, my babies. I need to open the notes.
Probably do that.
It's very powerful today. Is this yours or is this Jess?
These were hard notes to put together because of all the stuff. I gotta admit, it was rough.
You had to stop drinking, man.
Thanks.
Did you?
I had nothing to do with it.
Did you see yesterday She-Hulk?
No, I started watching Thor.
Oh, what a good movie! So much fun. The hour long making of is really good too.
All right.
Mm.
Are we ready to start or what?
Ready, baby.
All right, let's do this. Let me go to here.
Hey, I got the okay. We're good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So the notes are pretty, just a lot of stuff. So get going.
All right, hold on.
That's my pep talk.
What's going on, everybody?
Sorry, let me do this. Switch my account here. I got to go to the Mapman one.
Hey, Joel Pearl.
Joel Merle.
Gerald Paul.
Gerald Merle.
Gerald Paul. Gerald Paul is in the
Gerald Paul is in the chat.
What's Gerald Paul
Yo,
doing
Gerald.
in the Matman zone?
Did you just rename him?
Gerald Paul.
Uh-huh.
It's Sean Paul's brother. The reggae superstar.
The
Sean Paul.
reggae man.
The reggae man.
The rock man.
All right. We're streaming. We're live. I gotta hit record. All right. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Rich, you have the note
I got
chat up?
everything, man. I'm prepared, all right? Unlike some people.
Wow.
Meaning you.
Yeah, it's been a rough day. It's been a rough day.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. We'll begin in 3, 2, and 1. That didn't work. And that didn't work. Okay.
Okay.
In 3, 2, and 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Matman, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarin. I'm joined by the destroyer of scrums, Rich Stambolian.
Come on, baby. Are you going to tell them what MG said before the start of the show?
What was that?
He was like, can we just call the show You Can't Spell Scrum Without Cum?
I got these from French Workshop on Bell Boulevard.
I'm sure everybody had their take on the visuals from the scrum, but I like your little performance here. It's great. You look like
Oh, I'm doing the
you
whole
look like
show.
you found all of these in a garbage can somewhere, or multiple garbage cans. The bagman of Bell
Dude,
Boulevard
this is
right
delicious.
now.
You want it?
No, I know they're good. This guy's eating.
I also have eggs.
You gotta smash that egg over your head. I thought that's where you were going, or you were telling Fred, like, I gotta smash this egg over my head. Let's go,
Guys, this is a show all about professional wrestling. I'm prepared. Isn't this Scrum Week? Isn't this how you do podcasts now?
This is how you do scrums and podcasts. And listen. I'm a fan of the liquids. I'm known for having a lot of liquids around me. I've toned it down to just one because the people upstairs have yelled at me about too many liquid intakes.
Yeah.
But I like this. I like what we got going on.
French
right
Workshop Bakery.
Mm-hmm.
Luga muffins.
I didn't know that
Really
French
good
Workshop made King's Hawaiian. I like the prop though. It was a good looking muffin.
Oh man, so much to talk about today. Obviously, the aftermath of Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I didn't expect any of that.
Wild.
Did you?
No, I did not expect Girls Gone Wild, except Wrestlers Gone Wild. We got a $1.99 from Baxter 3000. Happy Friday, my chickadees.
Oh, I like that. Chickadees.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts, and I'm like, I am equal parts fascinated by it and equal parts sick of it because, when you go online, you see everybody's hot take on the situation.
Yeah.
And listen, we don't really know what happened. And like all these reports are effing bonzo bonkers bananas, dude. It's
I mean, we're gonna get to it. Obviously, there's so much to talk about here, but I wanna start this because
yeah.
Where do you want to go? Where do you want to start?
We're gonna go long today, I think. Let's see. Should you want to get the WWE stuff out of the way, or do you want to just talk about the elephant in the room, which is the CM Punk media scrum fiasco? Take a sip. Come back down.
I want to get your opinion on it first.
Okay.
Did you see it live or you saw it the next morning after everything happened?
I saw it before it. I watched most of the scrum before people started taking clips and posting them, because that's the thing I think that F people up. They only took a clip that didn't really show Tony Khan. And then people were posting like, oh, Tony Khan didn't even know about what Punk was saying.
Yeah.
And then the full scrum clip is him hosting it. Like, Tony Khan was there,
Yeah.
He was there. That's the boss, like Punk. Say what you want about Punk. The guy's very opinionated, clearly, obviously, and he always has been. And listen, did he step on Tony Khan's feet in the interview? Absolutely. Was he pissed? Absolutely. He just had a match. Great match, right? Valid stuff. Do you think he should have aired it the way he did, though?
No, I think it was totally unprofessional.
Okay.
It was the ramblings of a madman. He started that thing off by attacking Nick Hausman. He attacked Brian Alvarez at one point also in the scrum. He also took a shot at Dave.
Yeah, but
his theory is that the Young Bucks have been calling the media and telling them lies and rumors and whatever, right?
That's what you gather from it, right? Like, it's like, oh, the media leaks, these guys are idiots, blah, blah, blah. They still think they're in Reseda, like.
Listen, to me, it's like, man, what the great makings of a program.
100,000%.
And then, like, I'm watching, so I got a text, like a bunch of texts, like, oh, CM Punk is going nuts. Are you watching this? And I wasn't. I was obviously sleeping.
Yeah.
It
went long. The show went long.
The show went long. And then I turned it on, and I was like, oh, my God, this man is having a breakdown in front of us. He looked insane.
Yeah, those pastries looked awesome, though.
The pastries look great from Mindy's Bakery.
Star of the show.
Star of the show. He looked nuts. And obviously he's going to look like that. He just had a wrestling match. His adrenaline is pumping. Apparently he told people that the scrum he was going to do something at the scrum. He had this prepared. I think he saw this as a moment to air his grievances about stuff that he hasn't been able to talk about.
Well, we chatted about this the day after, or like during the day, where the lines are so blurred sometimes, which is great. Clearly like the MJF thing that happened, that whole fiasco, and then this CM Punk thing where it's like, listen, if let's say this is a work or partially a work.
It's not. I can tell you that.
Let's say it is, right? Let's say it's partially a work. This is a fucking gigantic gotcha. Right? This is a gotcha for everything, for the fans, for the elite, for all this stuff. It gets the belt away from these guys. Controversy equals cash, right? If it's 100% real, I think the dude could have maybe taken a step back and been like, hey, I'm not going to answer this. I'm not going to answer this. This is how I feel.
Well, no, nobody asked them anything about CM Punk or Hangman.
You mean the Bucks?
Or the Bucks.
Yeah.
Nobody asked them a thing about it. He just unloaded. There was no question.
Yeah.
That's the most amazing part of this. Like, people are like, well, what was the question that made him? There was no question.
Right.
He went in there. Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc., he saw him, and he's like, you fancy yourself a journalist? What do you took improv? Because he took improv with Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
But he was also the sitting reporter during the trial.
Right.
Between the two, right? So he obviously felt wronged by him somehow.
It's bizarre. That whole situation's bizarre. I think this is my theory that I told you the other day. I think the dude knew he was hurt. Again, this is just me.
Yeah.
I think the guy knew he was hurt.
You just want to set it on fire.
I think he was like, fuck, I'm hurt. because he kept rubbing his arm during the scrum.
Oh, he needs surgery, or he got surgery.
Maybe in his head, again, this is just my perspective. Maybe in his head he went, fuck, I'm hurt. I think I'm hurt bad. They're going to take the belt off of me regardless. I might as well make it worth something. And then
turn it into something.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem. That all is fantastic if he wasn't losing his mind.
Do you think he's losing his mind?
No. This was 100,
Yo, my keyboard's back.
You found it. Where was it? Oh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I just clipped this on, right?
Yeah, you could take it off that little thing it's in.
Oh. I didn't even realize that.
So, he obviously was feeling some way. Here's my problem with this, right? If it's a work, it'll go down as one of the greatest of all time, right? Which it's not. I'm not saying it is, because every time I say if it is, people get very nervous. It's not. You have to look at who looked bad and who looked good in this. The only one that looked good was CM Punk. He pretty much said, I make everybody the money. I am the company. I'm the one that's drawing everything. He made Tony Khan look like an idiot sitting there and pretty much telling him, like, I haven't made you the money. I've made Vince. He he essentially, I mean, listen, this all comes down to reigning control of the asylum.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's what this comes down to. Tony needs to grab control. Listen, if you're now here's go down the list now. Let's go down what the chain of events.
Okay. CM Punk takes major shots at Colt Cabana and Hangman Page and the Young Bucks, kind of by proxy from what he said. You know what I find interesting about this is that, which also makes me think, is it work? Again, this might be like my dumb fanboy brain going, is like he kept referring to him by his professional name and not his real name, as opposed to
For who?
A Hangman. He kept calling him Hangman Adam Page.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah.
But he called Colt Cabana by his real name.
Right.
He didn't call him Colt Cabana. He called him Scott, whatever.
So, and then he went into the whole thing about talent, I think, again, specifically calling out Hangman, saying that they don't need help from the veterans. And he did this whole diatribe about, we all watched it, right? He's like, go ahead and tell Terry Funk that you don't need any help. You don't want his advice.
Yeah, but his problem is, he had a problem with a lot of people in the back. It's not just Hangman.
Right.
His issue was that nobody wanted to take his advice, but he's coming off as like this very bitter, angry guy. He sees himself as a Harley Race, as a Terry Funk. Listen, it's great that he's willing to give help and whatever, but like sometimes people don't think it's a great idea, and they're not going to go with it. You can't get angry because somebody just thought that your concept is off. It's just I don't understand that mentality.
This is very interesting because it seems like, again, to me, this is the Pandora's box that they opened. Right? They brought this guy back after 7 years. And not only did they bring him back, they brought him back, and he's pun intended, he is all in with the company. He's all in with his passion for wrestling, right? The Pandora's box they opened is, this is the guy who cares too much now. This is the guy who cares about everything. Yeah. And you've seen those promos over the last few months, like Eddie Kingston calling him out. The whole thing with Bobby Fish now calling him out,
But here's the amazing thing, right? Whatever it was with Hangman, it really pissed him off. And I don't think it was that one singular promo that brought up whatever.
Yeah.
Right? You're that soft with your promos, like you're that upset over a worked shoot. You weren't upset with Kingston.
Right.
Maybe he was. Bobby Fish kicked out at 2.5.
Right.
On your GTS. Were you? I know that they had words afterwards, but like you didn't go out and bury Bobby Fish. Just very strange stuff. So
it is very strange. I think that's the overlying thing. I think it also, if you weren't a Punk fan to begin with, this is the final nail in the coffin, right? If you weren't a Elite fan to begin with, also like this turned so many people off, but also at the same time, it's making people tune in like so hardcore. Everybody wants to know what's going on.
Yeah, but that main event only the numbers plummeted for Dynamite. Yeah.
Didn't they hit $1 million?
They hit $1 million,
Yeah.
but they started off with 1.2 million, and it just gradually dropped like 300,000 people.
So let's go back to the timeline.
Yeah.
After the scrum, the Bucks and others apparently went to discuss this with Punk. Some say Punk's door was kicked down.
I don't believe the door was kicked down.
Some say the door was ajar and they opened the door and Punk went nuts. Apparently Ace Steel allegedly threw a chair at one of the Bucks and also bit Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Per the EVP camp, this is very sweet. Kenny, the numerous reports of Kenny trying to save Punk's dog.
I know.
To get out of the room. Awesome. Great.
And this freaking guy got bit. You know? Think of that. This poor guy.
Steele's wife. I think it was another report of one of the Bucks trying to get like one of the wives out of the room also.
I don't know.
Somebody's wife. I don't know. This was floating around. Security guards were darting in and out of the room. Mega was there, AEW's chief legal officer. Apparently she's going to be part of the investigation. But see, this is interesting. Punishments were quietly given on Wednesday, right?
Everybody's suspended.
Amongst the suspensions and also these guys being removed from the intro graphics, here are the suspensions, apparently. Punk, Steele, Kenny, Matt, Nick, Pat Buck, Chris Daniels, Michael Nakazawa, and Brandon Cutler.
So these were all, not everybody here in the suspension.
Larry the Dog, however, not suspended.
Larry the Dog, not suspended. Larry is not suspended here. When I asked somebody, I was like, well, what was their involvement? And they said it was that they were there. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they are punished. Like Chris Daniels was, I don't know Chris Daniels' positioning or Michael Nakazawa and how aggressive or not aggressive they were. This is just part of the proceeding. They hired an external party to investigate, to conduct the investigation.
There's definitely also cameras probably wherever they were. You know,
I don't know.
Was this in a hotel? Was this in the? Or was this in
the locker room?
This is in the locker room. Okay.
Yeah.
There's got to be cameras in the hallway at this day and age.
I'm sure.
You know, and also it's like, listen, we've come a long way from Brett punching Vince McMahon in the face. But that's what a lot of people were bringing up. You know,
they brought up Vince. They also brought up Brett and Shawn fighting. They brought up a lot of the fights in the back. You know, something that happened in recent times was Brock Lesnar throwing the belt at Vince. You know, and like cursing him out, or when Jericho got in the fight with Brock in the back. You know, these things happen. It's a very, adrenaline is pumping throughout the entirety of that show. Everybody's pumped. It's a very aggressive sport. You're not talking about guys that are, you know, like I know that there's a comparison to performance art, which I don't. Is it not sure? Whatever. But these guys are, you know, beating the crap out of each other, essentially.
It's a competition. Regardless of what you think it is or not, it is a competition because you want more TV time. You want to be on top, right? Yeah. And these are the guys who are on top right now. And there's a clash. You know, like one of the things that Punk said that I thought was interesting was him saying, like, they try to middle their top guy. And you just don't do that.
Yeah. I 100%. So here's the fallout here. We will find out more punishments could happen. As of today, Ace Steel and CM Punk are not fired. Do you fire them? I mean, Ace Steel, maybe. Right. I mean, it depends, you know? Like, we weren't in the room, and we're hearing a description of what happened.
Right.
And, you know, it could be a lot worse than what we know, and it could be a lot less worse than what we know.
I have a question for you.
Why did he bite Kenny Omega, though?
Right. That's just bizarre.
Yeah, like, he pulled his hair and bit him. That's a crazy person thing to do, right?
I mean, it's a good move, though.
It's a great move.
It's a great move. If you're going to fight somebody, just bite him.
Just bite him.
Pull a hair and bite him. That's
Kick
it.
him in
Kick
the balls.
Yeah.
Kick him in the nuts and just bite him and gouge the eyes.
Yeah, break the back. And then atomic drop.
Yeah.
I've seen you got into a few street fights in my day on Bell Boulevard, and you always use the atomic drop because nobody suspects it.
Yeah.
Eat that egg. Smash that egg on your forehead. So, I got a question for you, Andrew. If you were Tony Khan, right?
Yeah.
Would you fire or suspend CM Punk, knowing the guy's hurt up?
Okay, here's where Tony went wrong.
Okay,
and I don't want to. I'm not. Listen, I don't want to sit here and play blame game or accuse.
Right.
Here's where he went wrong. I deal with lunatics all day long.
Yes,
you know this.
Oh, I know. I met them.
Right. I deal with crazy people. I would have, if I was him in that presser, and Punk is like, I'm realizing that he's not letting this go. Because he didn't let it go. He just kept going and going. I would have stood up and said, hey, guys, listen, we're going to clear the room for 10 minutes and we're going to restart the scrum.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. You pull them outside and you say, listen, you want to do this? You could do it. You don't want to do it? Then don't do it. Leave.
Yeah.
Done. That's it. Why do you escalate it to that point? Why do you allow it to get escalated? Maybe something in his mind was saying like, oh, this could turn into a work. We can make money with this. If this works out, I think this is great. Like, obviously, he's a very creative guy and he's thinking about the business. It's very possible he was thinking, this could turn into business. But he also knew that, what Nick had said, apparently, because he said, well, Nick should have never said that or something along those lines. He knew that Punk is very upset over this.
Go ahead. You
don't leave a microphone in front of him, in front of the media, and give him, carte blanche. That's insane. Anybody else? Where was PR? Where was PR to shut it down?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he's a guy that doesn't listen to anybody. But listen, like all this stuff is very interesting, and you can look at all those promos cut on Punk, like Moxie's promo from a couple of weeks ago, saying like you have a fragile ego and a fragile body,
Yeah.
But again, at the end of the day, this is what takes me out of it and makes me not give a shit. These are all millionaires fighting with each other.
I know, and that's the crazy part. I said that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I said that with Garrett. I was like, isn't it crazy? Like, these are like grown 40-year-old millionaires.
Yeah, they're
like
millionaires.
in their mid-30s, early 40s. They're all wealthy, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know if who's a million. I know that probably, Punk's a millionaire and Mox is a millionaire.
World travelers.
You
would think that they would have the emotional intelligence to not let it get this out of hand.
At the end of the day, you are a character on a television show.
Speaking of character,
I would love.
Yes.
I just would love to know, like, how serious did Fox Mulder think? Did David Duchovny believe he's Fox Mulder? Like, you know what I mean?
There's a huge argument for yes.
There is a huge argument for yes. Yeah. Is he Hank? What was his name? Hank Moody?
Hank Moody.
What was his name in Californication?
Oh, I never watched Californication. Sorry.
I think it was Hank.
Sorry, folks. This is the other thing, too.
Yeah, Hank Moody.
Speaking of in character, right? Pretty much everybody at that scrum cut an in character promo. Did you not see Swerve and Keith Lee kind of throw the Acclaimed under the bus also?
They did, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like maybe this guy, kayfabe 3.0, maybe this guy took it up a notch or whatever, And I also think it's weird that people are like, Tony Khan's a weak CEO. He's so weak. And like, yo, the dude is running a football team and a real football team and a wrestling company.
Plus the other businesses, whatever ventures he has.
Right, so if this guy wants to drink his Topo Chico in a weird way at the media scrum, let him. It's fine.
I think what happened, he just went back a little bit.
All vodka. He brought the vodka on. So would you fire CM Punk? Back to the question. Would you fire him or just suspend him, let it cool, bring him back when there's another event where it's the Joker?
Listen, it really comes down to, if I feel that I can make this work, I would definitely keep everybody.
But
is he that unstable?
He's the unhinged. He's the lunatic fringe.
Like, is he the real lunatic fringe? I think so.
Like, Ambrose is very professorial backstage, and CM Punk is the one like headbutting the effing wall like Coco did the other day.
Dude, he went nuts.
I saw it.
What was that?
He went bananas.
You shtick Coco.
Yeah, not a fan.
You felt it, right?
Not a fan.
It happened.
Not
this is what happens. He goes into shtick mode.
Not a fan.
So annoying.
Not a fan. I think Alex was ready to kick him in the head.
Just wouldn't
stop. In case. Just in case he got very aggressive.
Is this your cranberry? Nobody knows what we're talking about.
No, anyway, we'll do that at our media scrum after our post-barbecue media scrum. So, again, for me, let's talk, like, real quick, let's talk for a minute about, like, if this dude gets fired after 1 year with the company and a litany of injuries, isn't that the biggest shame in modern pro wrestling?
Yeah, it really turned to be a huge flop.
Right?
By all standards. I mean, he has an initial big pop. But listen, this is the Bret Hart curse, right? This is the curse of being on top.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you go nuts. Savage, Hogan, Austin, Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of, like, when you're the guy on top, you really go, I think there's an immense amount of pressure on you to begin with.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And to be fair to Punk, like, he has an immense amount of pressure. He came back. He is the guy. He is drawing ratings for this company. He is selling out these buildings, or close to selling out. It's an unreal amount of pressure on somebody. And sometimes if you're not there mentally to be able to deal with every other bullshit that comes along, you kind of lose your mind like this. And it seems like he lost his mind.
The weight of the world, man.
The aftermath of this is that Punk had a meeting yesterday. I believe Wednesday at 1 o'clock?
Tuesday.
No, he had another meeting on Wednesday.
Okay.
1 p.m. on Wednesday, and there was a 1:15 call. So I guess it was a quick one. I guess they're all suspended, and they're going to determine what happens now. It turns out CM Punk also has a left tricep injury. He had to relinquish the title anyway because he's out 6 to 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's a big question of, what do you do with him? Do you fire him with him being hurt at home? Or do you just hope that cooler heads prevail in 6 months?
I think you don't fire him because firing him while he's hurt at home, isn't that what happened last time?
He wasn't hurt.
He wasn't hurt?
He refused to come to work, remember?
He wasn't hurt. He didn't have like the...
Yeah, but he wasn't...
The lower back thing?
He did, but he didn't want to wrestle Triple H.
Yeah,
that's what it came down to. Really.
I don't think they fire the guy. I think they just like take the heat off him a little bit. He'll come back to a huge pop. Because guess what happens? Guess what's going to happen? If they fire him, every single arena after the fact will have a ridiculous CM Punk chant.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think because
happen.
it involved the Bucks and Kenny, and he's so beloved, especially Kenny, and the fact that Kenny got suspended in this mess, I don't think he would be beloved, but I think he would be booed.
Do you think that the audience hasn't crossed over yet, and it's still like the smart, like BTE marks?
Say that again?
Do you think the audience hasn't crossed over completely yet, and it's still mostly like the smarts, quote unquote?
I think it's a lot for AEW. I think especially the ones attending the live shows.
There's no crossover. You're saying like
there is, but the casual, they don't have this tremendous casual. Like when stuff like that happens in WWE, nobody says a word.
Right.
When like a promo happens in AEW, that's all I get from people, and it just shows like people that are watching WWE, generally the people around me, are casual watchers of the product. A great example, we and this is a very real thing as well, right? Mm-hmm. Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins, that promo that they did, that side by side 2 Mondays ago, that was real. The divorce and taking your kids. And when's the last time you saw the kids? That is all real, serious stuff that is in Matt Riddle's divorce.
But again, like. All right, here's another argument.
There's no circumstance, Rich. I would want anybody to call me a shitty father.
Well,
publicly to the world.
I'm going to try to say this as best as eloquently as possible. That needed to be approved by a staff of writers, right?
I'm sure.
Do you think this is the first chink in the armor with the fact that these guys are not scripted in AEW, and this is what happens? You have two apparent promos that kind of crossed the line a little bit and led to this. It's bizarre.
I don't know. That's a great question.
Do you? Because like we don't know the writing process in AEW.
No, I know that a lot, but you do go over stuff like together. So maybe he felt blindsided, but that the sense of realism. That's the danger in the sense of realism in your promos,
right?
If you have this loosey-goosey way of outlining promos and you let the guys just do whatever they're doing, these things could happen. It happened with Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston got upset because he was called overweight.
Yeah.
Like it really, it's not what's said, it's who's saying it more than anything else.
Like, oh, my friends can call me this, but you can't.
I know it's.
So here's
listen, man. I also don't think this is positive for this company when the backstage, and we said this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Very, very WCW 2000-ish nonsense when the backstage stuff takes over, and we're talking about it because it's a huge story. And again, CM Punk, 2 weeks in a row, kind of trounced the Kenny Omega matches and the return. The MJF is not a conversation. The MJF return is not a conversation right now.
Completely buried.
You have, these are negatives that you're taking away. And when you have 1.5 million, 1.2 million people tune in, and then that number just freaking dwindles by the end of the show, even though it was a solid, really good show.
Yeah.
That shows that people were not interested in the product. They were more interested in the hoopla.
Yeah. You know what? It also goes against stuff that guys like Jericho and Moxley would say in interviews, which would be, Jericho has said this a ton of times, where he's like, oh, the locker room in AEW isn't like other locker rooms because there's no politicking. And as soon as there's politicking, we say, hey, stop that.
Yeah, obviously there is tons.
Guess what? This kind of exposed that a little bit. Again, it's fascinating. I don't think people were texting me like, hey, is AEW going to close its doors? And I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. Here's some more of the fallout.
Yeah.
So apparently Punk suffered a torn left tricep and was reportedly had to have had relinquished the title anyway.
Yes.
May have happened during the tope and not during the backstage altercation.
No, it was the tope.
Malachi Black may have been granted a conditional AEW release.
I believe he was.
This is another thing that got buried
No,
too.
he's done.
Like, he turned around and kind of gave the crowd a goodbye. Tony Khan would not comment on it. Do you think he's done with AEW, or is it one of those like, hey Paul, can I come back?
I don't think so.
Or you think he's just done with wrestling for a little bit?
I think he needs some time off.
Need a little break? All right,
Yeah.
You know.
I listen.
Cool off.
You know, he wasn't really positioned in a bad way. He was very overpowered in this company.
Yes.
He was always in a good position. They just never got him in that main act position.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that's what he wanted, I don't know. But I think he was presented really well on TV.
I think so too. Listen, who's to say Royal Rumble 2023, Cody and this guy come back and have a rockin' feud again?
Conditional, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
Tony Khan mentioned in the scrum about his displeasure with WWE running shows on Labor Day weekend because that was his initial baby, right?
Yeah, well, the other thing, they have, I believe, in the Observer this week, actually, fantastic Observer. They did a fantastic job this week. I believe he said the estimates are 135 to 145 for the show. So much less than last year, obviously, but it was CM Punk's return last year. I don't know if that had anything to do with wrestling fatigue from the weekend, because you had that big stadium show on Saturday. That was a blast to watch. You had NXT right before the show. Not many. I mean, listen, how many people watch that thing? You know?
Right.
I don't know, but did it affect the number? I definitely think it does affect the number when it causes tremendous fatigue. If Sunday was the only thing, I would have had a blast. Like, we would have done it on Sunday. And I think it would have been a different viewing pattern for us.
I fell asleep at 9:30.
You did fall asleep at 9:30. I know. It's a long day.
On Sunday. I was done. Mox and Jericho were apparently both called in for Dynamite. Mox was supposed to be on vacation, as evident by his promo.
Yeah.
But good for these guys. These guys are clearly like two top guys, and they're company guys.
They both cut unbelievable promos during the show. Mox's promo was fantastic.
Arguably the best of his career.
Yeah.
I think so.
Jericho's this is my locker room thing was very well done.
Yeah.
They solidify, and by the way, the company needs that.
Absolutely.
And you know, there is something to be said about an Undertaker figure being in that locker room.
Is he the Undertaker now?
He is an Undertaker.
Very cool.
He's not the Undertaker. He's not like the. He's a Undertaker.
I think he needs to go more spooky though.
Oh, he needs to do coffin stuff.
Take the wizard stuff to the next level.
Yeah.
He needs to do coffin stuff.
Yeah, coffin stuff.
Is that on your Tinder profile?
Yeah, coffin.
I like to do coffin stuff. That's on MG's Tinder profile.
I just want to sleep in one.
And apparently Christian needs shoulder surgery, hence the short match on Sunday.
I mean, it wasn't even a match, right?
Yeah.
They just beat him up. Yeah, Christian's out 6 months also.
Great. You know, it's one of those things I wonder, and we've talked about this a lot, where do you think there's an internal regret by getting some of these guys who are quote unquote like damaged goods, like physically damaged goods?
Yeah, I think for Christian, he's more of like a mentorship type guy in that company, right? Like, I don't think the goal with Christian was to have him out there every week and have him, chase for a title or anything like. I mean, they did. They put the Impact title on him, right?
Yeah.
And he was in a great match with Kenny Omega.
Fantastic.
I thought it was a decent match.
It sucks that they didn't go any further with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw that at Arthur Ashe, right? Didn't they have that match at Arthur Ashe?
No, Arthur Ashe was Kenny and
Danielson. Yeah. No, where did we see that match?
On TV.
Oh no, no. We saw it at All Out. That was a match at All Out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. Last year. So I think like those matchups, but you got guys like Mark Henry, you got the Big Show, you got Taz there, you got Christian there, you have Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
Jerry Lynn.
Did you mention the Big Show?
The Big Show again. We'll mention again. You have these guys that have been in locker rooms for 30 years. Yeah. Why are we not I mean, I'm sure they are in some capacity, but those guys need to be the law and order.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
Mark Henry should be the law and order.
This would not happen. This doesn't happen in WWE locker rooms because they don't feel that they're allowed to. And when you let people feel that they could do stuff like this, it's always a problem.
Yeah. You want to go through the card real quick?
Yeah, very quick.
So Eddie Kingston beat Tomohiro Ishii.
Great match.
What an opener,
That was my favorite match of the night.
It was, you know what? It's definitely up there. Top 3 for sure. The Joker, MJF, won the casino ladder match. But a great little swerve at the end. Stokely Hathaway and his crew got the poker chip.
So is he working with them? Is he working for them? What's the story here?
I think that's the new faction.
I don't like that Cass is in it.
I do. I like him as MJF's heavy. Ooh.
Yeah, well, if that's what you do,
yeah,
I'm into it. I'm very much into it. If you just have him be a guy in that group, I don't like that.
And then MJF goes, hey, we need an extra hand. And Morrissey goes, I got just the guy. And then out comes Enzo.
Doing this?
Sloppy jalopy.
You want to see my Enzo?
Yeah, please. He's kicking his legs under the table. I liked it. It comes out to Sympathy for the Devil.
I wonder how much you paid for that.
Probably a lot, man. I would have gotten the Motorhead version since he was doing the all the Triple H stuff on Monday. Wardlow and FTR defeated Jay Lethal and Motor City Machine Guns. That was a fun match, yeah. Dax's daughter got to pin Sanjay after. Cool. Swerve in Our Glory retained the AEW Tag Team Championships over the Acclaim.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something.
Could be match of the night.
I'm going to ask you something.
Yeah, shoot.
Do you call an audible during that match and change the finish?
I would have gone yes. I would have said yes. I would have blown the roof off the place. Yes. But now the danger is...
if they weren't going to win the titles in New York, just saying.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think...
they have to.
Do you think the hype going into New York is too much now?
No, I think it's too little.
Okay.
I think it's too little.
We're getting a rockin' show, by the way.
We're getting a title. We're getting a world title match, right? They're going to crown the new world champion, which is going to be unbelievable. But I bought my tickets, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How many tickets you get?
I got 4.
Where are you sitting? Or is it going to be you, Bob, Jess, and...
Section 110. Same thing as last time, I think.
You getting one for your buddy, too?
Jess's cousin.
Oh, cool. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
If you leave early, let me know so I can take your seat.
No, if I leave early, which I probably will, I'll give you my seat. Yeah, 100%. I'm not staying for Rampage.
Yeah, it was very long last year.
Because I have a golf outing the next day.
Get out of here. How are you going to do golf with your bad hip?
I'm not doing golf. I have to go to
You're going to be at golf.
I'm going to be at golf.
You're going to drive the little cart around?
Yeah, that's it.
That's going to be fun, man.
Declared. Okay, so, obviously they have some sort of plan here. I think they should win the title in New York. They were so over, and, it's a once in a... you don't get these moments too often, right? When you hit that peak, you don't really get it, so you have to capitalize on it. I hope they capitalize on it. I love that team. I'm a big fan of the Acclaim.
Same here. Scissor Me Daddy is over. This is the genius of Billy Gunn. You know what works for this guy? Hand gestures.
A lot of hand gestures.
Hand gestures. Like Billy goes, this, and now this.
No, yeah, this.
Oh, that's right.
This.
And now Scissor Me Daddy.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's see what else we got here. You had Toni Storm won the 4-way to win the Interim Women's Championship. Great.
I thought it was a good match.
It was a good match.
They did a good job with this.
Christian Cage beat Jungle Boy after Luchasaurus turned on him. Great. Daniel Bryan versus Bryan Danielson versus Jericho.
The crowd. I thought this was such a good match, but the crowd just was tired.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It took them a while to get into this. It was a lot quieter than I thought. Well, the Acclaim match effed up everything.
It took the breath out of the room.
Out of the room. They got so hot into this match that it was very difficult to come back from. And we didn't see people come back until the trios match.
I don't think anybody expected that tag match to be as amazing as it was.
Let me rewind. What did you think of the Jericho match?
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Do you think Danielson should have won?
No. Keep it going. Because that's going to be the rematch in the title tournament.
Is that next week?
It's got to be.
No, what's the bracket like right now?
Daniel Bryan beat Hangman.
Yeah.
The last two guys are Moxley and Jericho at the bottom.
So it's going to be It's going to be Jericho and.
I think the end is going to be.
Someone send me the bracket.
I think the end at Grand Slam is going to be Danielson versus Moxley.
Danielson versus Moxley.
With Danielson winning and Moxley finally going on vacation.
I would love that.
Right?
Danielson win. I mean, Danielson at the last. This is a great redemption story, right?
Yeah.
He tied. It was a time limit draw last year at Arthur Ashe for him and Kenny for the world title, and now he could win it the following year. You know what? Is he the guy you put the title on?
Why not?
Well, I'll give same issue as Punk. He's hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know right now, but he gets hurt. So do you want to do that?
Well, you're gonna have let's say Blackpool Combat Club face versus face if it's Danielson versus Moxley.
All right, so I have the graphic here, but for whatever reason, when MG Geek sends me images, it's in 1K. It's 1 pixel, the entire image. All right, Grand Slam Tournament of Champions. You had Hangman Page and Bryan Danielson. Danielson advanced next week in Albany. He's facing Chris Jericho.
Danielson wins.
Danielson wins. Mox is going to be facing either Darby Allin or Sammy Guevara. It should be Darby.
Yeah. Mox wins.
And now you have Mox versus Jericho versus Danielson at Arthur Ashe in Queens.
I think that would be
fantastic main event.
A ridiculous main event. And also, one more match that just got added to the card. NYC Demon Diva says Zarian versus me at Grand Slam.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to do stuff beforehand?
You know what I'm going to do?
What?
Just going to get one of these.
Oh, low blow?
Low blow. That's going to be my
Are you going to do a
thing.
split, though?
Split first, yeah.
You're going to do a side split,
Yeah.
low blow, like Van Damme style.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
I want to see that.
That hurt my hip, just doing that low blow.
I know. You got to take care of yourself. You got that big golf outing. Are we going to do a meetup ahead of time?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Let's get those pregame.
Nobody calling audible when I fight Andrew. I'm going to throw a chair. I'm going to bite you, Issa.
You've seen how long her nails are, though, right?
Chompers.
Yeah, I feel like
I know.
I feel like she just scratched the shit out of your face. Because usually you fight like this. Not the face.
Not the face. Hit me. I just protect the face. You have no idea how much kidney damage I got and liver damage. I just protect my face when I fight.
You're like that dude in the pit that has one hand over his face and the other hand swinging.
Just wait and see.
I want to see you guys really fight now.
She's gonna throw a slipper at me. That's what I heard. Isn't that her special?
That's among her special moves.
Well, what do you call it?
Chancla.
A chancla.
Chancla. Yeah.
Chancla.
The Elite won the trios titles, beating Hangman Page and Dark Order. Great match. Great match. Sad. And CM Punk beat John Moxley unified titles for a day. Great match too. That match was awesome. I love that was one of the best finishes I've seen to a match in a very long time. Mox getting kicked, slumping over onto CM Punk into the GTS. Fantastic.
It was a great match.
Yeah.
It was a great match. And
what a shame that these carny motherfuckers can't keep their fucking shit to themselves.
I know. They fucking ruined it. Listen, man, there has to be housekeeping done in that company.
Yeah.
I hope this was a good lesson for everybody. I really hope so. I hope this was like, okay, Tony did a 2-hour freaking interview with Dave, by the way, the day before this. And, it's very telling that there are issues. There are people that try to take advantage of him. And Tony said, he goes, something that I learned is that everybody tries to take advantage of you. If you're weak in this business, they will do everything to take advantage of you.
Absolutely.
And here's a great example of it.
But I don't think he's been. I really don't think the guy's been taking it. He's smart. He's too smart for that.
But you know what? Do they respect this man?
I think they do.
Would they have done it if it was Vince?
I think that's a different story. Though.
Why? I mean, I get it. I'm playing devil's advocate, right? But
because there's like let's say 10 people before you get to Vince who will all tell you the same thing.
Sheer disrespect, in my opinion, from everybody involved. Everybody involved, sheer disrespect for the company and the owner. And to be honest, they know what is on the line here. Everybody involved in this fight knows what is on the line with this company. They know the optics battle that they have. They know that they're now not in an incline. They are in a defensive position, which has not been something they've been comfortable with. They've always been on the offensive because they were up and coming. Now because of the Triple H stuff, because of talent that is in WWE now, that because of changes happening to WWE, it's an optics and PR battle. And what happened? I don't. CM Punk should not have said what he said. Okay, it's a press event. It's a company event. You want to do your own interview? Do whatever you're doing. However, this becoming a fight. Saying like if you have something to say to me, say it to my face. You're challenging people to a fight. You could talk about work, shoot all you want. At the end of the day, this turned into something that was never intended to happen, and it only made the company look worse.
Yeah.
And you don't get too many of these in your lifetime, especially for a new company that's 3 years old. Cody leaves the company. This man has the greatest foresight ever.
I think he was the glue. To a certain extent, I do think he was a lot of glue.
Or maybe he saw it. He's a smart Cody. Do not underestimate this guy.
Brilliant guy.
Ever. Okay? Yeah. He is WWE trained from the beginning. He was there. He was the company guy, did everything they wanted to the point that he was like, you know what, I'm leaving. He didn't leave. I guess he did burn down the bridge, but for a little bit. But again, he kept in touch with people. He was always, he is a media guy. His goal was never to become a full-time wrestler after he left. Remember, we saw him at where did we see him? It was in that church gym for Evolve.
Yeah.
Him and Chris Hero had this fantastic match.
Yeah.
In the middle of summer in a church gymnasium. This guy sat there, signed every picture, took every photo, didn't leave for hours.
Did the merch booth.
And then I think, we were just saying it, someone's like, what do you plan on doing? And he turned around, he's like, yeah, I'm going to do this a little bit. I want to help out the indies, but my big goal is I want to go into acting. Yeah. He didn't really intend on starting a wrestling company. Takes the indies by storm.
Goes to Japan.
Has this great run, evolves his style. Genuinely becomes not a WWE guy, but he becomes a guy.
Right.
And starts his company. And whatever happened, and he saw the writing on the wall, and he made the best decision he could have. Was Cody's decision wrong?
No, it just sucks that he got hurt.
To the gills, but he did get jacked to the gills.
Oh yeah, it just sucks that he got hurt. I think that's the only thing.
Yeah. So
fascinating.
Very much so, dude. This is very fascinating. So let's go into Dynamite quickly, and then we'll do some Q&As. We'll run down the Cardiff show, and then we'll go into Q&A.
Yes. So on Wednesday, a video package aired with Tony Khan explaining that the Trios title and the World title have been vacated. No suspensions were announced. He announced a Trios title match and a tournament for the main belt to finish at Grand Slam, which we're going to. MJF came out pandering to the crowd, but it was such a great that. I feel like his promo was telling you, I can get cheered and I can get booed in the same segment. Just watch this.
Yeah, he very good promo. I'm into him, man. I hope. Yeah. But now they're saying okay, well, the tease was Mox and him, right? That was the tease. So maybe Mox does win the title back.
3-time champ?
Make him a 3-time champ, yeah.
Mox interrupts, cuts the best promo, I think, of his career. Holy jeez, right? Really hit a home run. And on a show that they needed to hit a home run.
This was a guy that people were so concerned about his promo ability 10 years ago.
Nuts.
Remember? Do you remember that Shield thing that they did when they did that sit-down? Was it with Jim Ross? I forgot who the sit-down was with.
I don't remember.
And it was Roman in the middle. It was Mox and Seth, right? And there were two concerns. One was, well, Seth's obviously the big star here. He's going to be the man.
Yeah.
Roman will be a good, strong muscle. But Mox, what happens to Mox? He has proven everybody how instrumental he is in pro. He's the wrestler of the year, in my opinion, now.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
No question about it. Wrestler of the year. This guy did everything.
Yeah.
Wrestled everywhere.
I don't think he's wrong when he says he's the heart and soul of the business.
Yeah, but Punk is the dollars and the cents. What a great line that was.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go back to the Punk stuff too much, but I will bring up one thing that I mentioned to you guys the other day. On a certain level, what is the difference between what Punk did and what Jay White does after every single New Japan match, where he calls out every single person on the planet?
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing, except like different. Who knows?
Mox cut this amazing promo. Death Triangle comes out, beats the Best Friends for the AEW World Trios Championship. Great. Tony Storm defeated Penelope Ford.
Great.
Wardlow defeated Tony Nese. Tony Nese jiggled his pecs.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you say hello in Long Island.
Oh, yeah.
That's every dude in Long Island. South Shore, Long Island. Hey, come here. Let me look at your tits.
What are you packing?
But only to men, not to women. This is only to men. Let me see what you got.
What are you packing down there?
And you just do one of these. You just shake them to each other.
Up top or down low?
Up top. We pick one.
Bryan Danielson beat Hangman to advance in the Grand Slam
Good
tournament.
match.
Yeah. And Daniel Garcia defeated Wheeler Yuta for the RH Pure Wrestling Championship. Danielson came down to present the title to Garcia, and Jericho was mad.
Yes. So, Daniel Garcia is now the ROH Pure Wrestling Champion. Very well done here, and they're telling a very good story. Does Daniel Garcia play a part next week in the Jericho match?
Yes.
Very interesting.
I think he cost Jericho, or there's a swear. Too many quick turns, I think, though.
Claudio and Dax for the ROH World Championship on Rampage. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara for the title tournament match.
Great. It's going to be a fun Rampage next week on Dynamite. Danielson versus Jericho, and Mox versus Darby or Sammy.
Yeah. AEW Grand Slam match announced. Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. AEW World Championship match. And 2.0 versus Hook. And Flushing's own Action Bronson.
He's going to blow the roof off that place.
He is.
It's going to be. I want to see him do a tope.
Oh, I would love to see him. No, Vader Bomb, dude.
Vader Bomb would be amazing.
Yeah. WWE news. WWE announced that Triple H's promotion to Chief Content Officer. Frank Riddick has been promoted to President in WWE and continues as CFO. WWE promotes Shawn Michaels to Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative. Also, they hired Vegas. I was going to say Los Angeles Raiders. I'm so used to that. Las Vegas Raiders president Dan. What's his name? Ventrelli.
The Raiders president. I'm not sure.
Dan Ventrelli.
Dan
Ventrell as EVP of talent. He'll work under Triple H. Pat McAfee puts WWE commentary role on hold because he's doing ESPN College Game Day.
Great.
He's likely back by Rumble.
Entrant to number 10 in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Clash at the Castle card. We'll touch this really quickly. Roman, we'll go backwards here.
Fun
Dude,
event. Fun day.
We had a barbecue. We had the best day ever.
It was a great day.
We had the best day ever. Coco had his meltdown.
It's one of several from what I heard.
He did not leave till 10.
I know.
He stayed in the backyard.
I know. I felt a little bad leaving, but it was, we were there for like 7 hours.
Yeah,
already.
it was a whole day. Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky defeated Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. Intercontinental Championship match. 5 stars. Match of the night, in my opinion. Gunther and Sheamus beat.
Absolutely.
What? This was a great example of if you got 2 of the right guys together, you don't have to do one fucking flip.
On a WWE show.
That was my Jim Cornette.
Oh, yeah?
You don't have to do one flip. It was just wrestling. Old school wrestling.
Hard hitting. These guys kicked each other's asses.
They beat the crap out of each other. We had
Liv Morgan defeating Shayna Baszler.
Yes. You know what? She came out like Sensational Sherry from 92 Rumble. Very good job.
Edge and Ray defeating the Judgment Day. And we got that Eddie Guerrero heel turn.
Dude, he
from Dominic.
Yeah, Eddie turned. Dominic turned on Ray, hit Edge. Rhea Ripley on Monday said I've made him into a man. And Eddie, and he's rocking a mullet. He's rocking the Eddie 96 mullet now. So who's your poppy?
It's a tough haircut to pull off. Do you think you can pull off a mullet?
No, you know what? Maybe. I look
think
like a dirtbag.
I think only wrestlers and like real jack dudes could pull off a mullet. Or if you're like a Joe Dirt guy, I think MG could pull off a mullet. He's got one right now,
You think
actually.
he does have a mullet,
Yeah.
right? You think when I low blow Issa, I should do the Eddie shimmy?
I think so.
afterwards
And I think he
just
should do a
dance
frog
around?
split. Look what he's doing. He's turning into Cousin
Oh
Ed.
my god! I'm gonna put the camera on you.
Our producer, MG Geek.
Oh, look at that. He is the. I had a great joke. I don't want to say it now.
I think he just came.
He looks like a deranged Beethoven.
We also had Rollins beating Matt Riddle. Great. And your main event, Roman defeating Drew McIntyre.
Fantastic match.
Fun match. Great match.
Yeah.
Nice little ending there, too, with Tyson Fury and Drew singing, which apparently was not supposed to air.
I said it would be great if CM Punk lost. I said this
Mhm.
on Observer, and he comes out. Ace Steel comes out, and they just do a rendition of Chicago for 2 hours.
Oh, my God. Sweet Home Chicago?
Sweet Home Chicago. All right, so that was that card. All right, what else do we have here?
We got some notes from Raw. Edge tried to confront Dominic. Dominic came out with Rhea Ripley. Great. Judgment Day. Judgment Day is I feel like they're on the precipice of becoming really cool or like really stupid.
I agree.
Yeah. Braun Strowman returned, did some choo-choo shit. Did some choo-choo shit, fell as Chad Gable jumped out of the way like a smart man.
Like, first of all, why is he doing the choo-choo shit still?
I told you he was going to do the choo-choo shit. We were talking about that last week. You were like, I hope he doesn't come back and do the choo-choo shit.
By the
I'm
way,
like,
kids loved it, by the way.
Yes,
All the kids in
yes.
the world loved that he came back.
guarantee you this dude is starting out with the choo-choo nonsense. Great. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about Braun
love his
interrupting
theme.
a tag match?
I love his theme. I don't know. Should it have been done at that moment? Whatever. I don't know what you're going to do. He's going to come out and cut a promo. Who's he challenging?
I don't know.
Maybe it is. Maybe that's what you do. He comes in and challenges Roman.
Great.
Couple got to get a program with Roman.
Yeah.
Fill in the blanks, right? Till Rumble.
Extreme Rules, dude. Me versus.
Is that your Braun Strowman?
Mhm.
Great Braun.
My Braun impression. Yeah. All right. Whatever, man. Like I used to care about the guy. I don't really care about the guy anymore. Great. How do you feel about Braun?
I think it's a smart move.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everybody involved.
Smart for him.
Yeah.
You know, I think if anything, I do think Triple H can mold him into something a little different. You know, because he kind of came
Trim
back.
the beard a little bit more.
He kind of came back as the same dude, except wearing red and with nipple rings.
Did he have nipple rings?
Yeah, with nipple rings and like a nose thing.
No, he did not.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
he?
Yeah, straight up.
I think that was Rhea Ripley, dude.
No,
I think you're wrong.
no. Braun Strowman got them nips pierced. He's got that nose, the cartilage thing going
He's
on.
pulling an Andrew Cuomo.
He's beginning to touch everybody very gently on the cheek.
He always had the nipple ring, said Issa. Issa would know this.
Oh, I never
Issa knows
noticed.
these
Yeah.
things.
They got like a quick shot on Monday. I was like, it's weird. I would not be able to wrestle with like any kind of fucking piercing on my body. I'd be too terrified.
I'd be terrified, yeah. Jeff Hardy has 2 giant holes
Oh my
in
god.
his ear. You could just put a finger in it.
They did that once though.
Yo, I want to see him with hot dogs in that thing.
A couple of Oscar Mayer weenies hanging out your head. Bobby Lashley beat The Miz in a steel cage match because The Miz saw Dexter Loomis on the floor of the cage. That was great.
That was
a
good,
moment.
very good camera work there. Very, very good camera work.
He kind
I can't. Stupid theme.
climbed back in and got speared by Lashley. Loomis choked him out. And his Raw went off the air. Great.
It was good. It was a fun Raw.
Do you want to do questions or do you want to do Worlds Collide? Worlds Collide was actually not bad.
Let's do questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, get your questions ready. We'll be here for another.
Carmelo Hayes and Ricochet was a great match.
Fantastic.
The main event was a great match, and then everything else was fine.
Yeah, everything else was good. The Pretty Deadly, the tag match was pretty
Are
good
you
too.
into Pretty Deadly?
They're okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'm coming around to them. I want to dress like them. This is like
Yeah.
Alex told me, he was like, at the next time he comes over, should he not wear sleeves? And I said, no, dress like this.
Yeah.
And it's
perfect.
the Pretty Deadly.
Perfect.
stuff.
Nobody was wearing sleeves at the party.
We were all sleeveless, topless. Everybody was going crazy, except for Coco. Coco was
in a depressed state.
wearing a suit.
This is your cranberry juice.
Yeah, nuts. We're I love the guy, but that came out of nowhere.
Shtick Coco. He was in Shtick Coco.
Guys, we're gonna do some questions for the next 20 minutes or so. If you want your question answered first, you can super chat us. If not, just throw them in the chat room and we'll answer them as they come. So we did get a super chat at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
From Matt Reichel, but I have to go back and find it. MG, if you could throw that into the queue, that'd be great. But right now, this is from Shreya Hashemi, $5. Andrew Rich, has Punk finally gone into business for himself?
I think he's always been in business for himself. I don't think he ever was not in the business of himself. And I think in order to be successful in wrestling, you have to be in the business of yourself. But I think this is something very different. I think this is a guy that has some issues.
Okay.
You know, he has some anger issues.
You think he's been getting drunk this whole time and nobody knows?
No. Fucking, he's going nuts. You know, dude, that you fancy yourself a journalist? What a fucking comment.
What great. You know what? Like, again, watching this shit ad nauseum and seeing all this stuff. What if these guys are just taking on the wrestling media, you know? And this is kayfabe 3.0. They're like, F these guys. We don't need you. Could very well be the case. And then they're like, ha ha ha, we got him right where we want him. Yeah. And they're all hanging out right now. Punk, the Elite, Kenny.
I don't think so, man. Don't believe so.
And isn't it funny that it's all straight edge dudes that are straight edge millionaires that are fighting with each other backstage?
Unbelievable.
Give me a break.
It's really it's so embarrassing. It really is.
Yeah.
Just I feel so bad for that. For you know, I feel bad for everybody involved, obviously, because you never want to see that happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel worse for Tony.
Yeah.
You know, because there is responsibility on him, but how much of that responsibility? It's not all on him, but a lot of it is.
Mm-hmm. We got $5 here from Matt Reichel. Good morning, Rich and Andrew. Kicking myself for not going to Chicago. Combat Sports loves their scrums, and Full Gear in Newark should be interesting.
I'm not. Everybody's asking if we're going to Full Gear. I have no interest in going to Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, Newark, blah.
The Rock, blah.
We get lost. I wouldn't say we get lost. We get stuck out there. Newark is unfortunately not an. I don't want to say not an easy ride for us. If there was no traffic, we'd be there in like 45 minutes. But guess what? There's always traffic, and it stinks.
Like, Rich and I have known each other for 24, 25 years. We've been great friends for all these years, right? One of my closest friends. I would never ask Rich to pick me up from Newark Airport. Like, if I'm stranded there, I would not do that harm to him.
I mean, I would do it.
I know you would, but I would never. Yeah. I would never ask you. Yeah. Be like, hey, Rich, listen, I would walk because it's such a task.
Yeah.
To be in Newark, I don't want to go to Newark.
That was when we were initially supposed to go to Vegas last year. That cursed flight.
That cursed flight
on Southwest when I picked you up at like 4 a.m, and then about 20 minutes on the highway and pouring rain, we got the alert saying the flight got moved till 6 p.m.
And then it got canceled.
Yeah. What a stinker. This is $5 from Drew DeYoung. I know everyone is going to ask this today, but was Giant Gonzalez's bodysuit in kayfabe, or was it part of the gimmick that he was just a giant naked guy?
The gimmick was that he was a giant naked guy from the jungles.
But he didn't have muscles, so they painted him on the suit. There you go. What could have been?
Giant Gonzalez? Yeah. What could have been?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you could really do when they're that big.
You don't think so? You couldn't throw him send him to Japan, have him fight Giant Baba?
He was in Japan.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh. He was in Japan. He was in WCW. That's where he came from. He came from Japan.
Let's see here. This is $1.99 from Bachelor 3000. Do you see any form of redemption for Velveteen? I don't think so.
Oh my God!
This guy done screwed up.
He's unwell. He's a very unwell person. You know, he killed the Enchante gimmick.
Yeah,
he killed it for me. I can't do it anymore. Too close.
It's too close.
Too close. El Gigante, dude. He was in Japan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He was in New Japan. He was in War. El Gigante, the Giant. I would say there's no way to redeem that guy.
Sorry, dude.
Great gimmick. He knew how to do that gimmick, but again, you know, a little touch of reality by being a creepy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a little creepy, that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So apparently he got into that fight at the gym. He was recording people peeing in the bathroom at EC3's house.
Guy was filming some wangers.
I mean, but you know what though? That just shows what a dumb guy he is.
Well, yeah, and also it kind of like all this stuff that comes out makes you really think about the wrestling industry, and you know, at times how goddamn gross it is.
Very gross.
This is from Issa. NYC Demon Diva, that Braun impression wasn't good as Zarian's Bad Bunny impression.
Hey, that one?
Oi.
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 Let's see. Connor, will we see babyface Sami Zayn by WrestleMania?
Yes. I think so. I think it's time.
This is from BC Knight. Hashtag Ask the Matmen. If Andrew and Rich got into a backstage melee with Brian, Semp, and Meltzer, who throws a chair and who bites who? I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
We'll
Brian
fight
Alvarez,
dirty. We'll fight dirty.
So what would happen is that I would bite Dave in the bicep first, because that's where he gets all of his power. And then once you do that, he like a vampire, he shatters into just piles of the Wrestling Observer, like back issues, right? Brian would be a little tricky. Sempervive would be the hardest one to fight. He's from the East Coast, and I think he would stab.
Well, I usually carry a knife on me.
You do,
and I usually have a little.
Well, we go into like West Side Story knife fight.
Oh yeah. It's mostly dancing.
Yeah.
And I usually have a little satchel of talcum powder that I just throw in people's eyes if shit goes down. That's it. Okay, Johnny. Should I watch NXT now? I stopped watching when it became 2.0, but now with Triple H in charge and a possible theme change in the works, I've been thinking about coming back to it.
Yeah, I would say give it a shot. It's not a terrible show. I think that we're going to start seeing some more changes because of the people running it, but I would say, yeah, watch it. I think it's going to be fine.
Yeah, this is from Mikey K. Do the Dark Order get any new members? Is Hangman officially the leader? I think Dark Order's on the way out.
Yeah, I don't think Hangman should be the leader. I think Hangman needs to be its own thing.
Dark Order's losing dudes left and right. You know, I think they need a place for Johnny Hungy and Alex Reynolds. You know. Cadillac Carson, any update on the draft?
It was supposed to be next week. Actually, it was supposed to be tonight. Tonight and Monday. The last I heard that the consideration was to move it in the new year. After football.
Okay.
I don't know if that was the last thing that was suggested to me. I just don't know that. I would say next year. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. The only thing I got was that they want to do it after football. That was the only things that was said to me. So I have no idea what that means. Okay.
This is from Matthew Pace. Who's better at throwing a chair, Braun or Ace Steel?
I think Ace Steel. Yeah.
Who throws a chair? That's another question.
Fucking viciously throws a chair.
Yeah. You think it was like an up and around or like a direct?
I don't think it was a steel chair.
No.
I think it was like a regular chair.
Like a cushy chair.
It was a sofa.
It was a stool. Imagine if it was a sofa. Let's see here. This is from Balor Club Guy. What up, boys? Moxley versus Danielson for the AEW World Title at Grand Slam. Post-match, MJF hands in his chip to challenge and wins it at Grand Slam, or does he save it for Full Gear?
Man, that would be great if he cashes in at Grand Slam. In New York, he wins the title. From Mox.
I don't think they're going to put the belt on Mox 3 times. I mean, they should, but, you know, who knows? He's an anomaly. I think the guy needs some time off. It seemed like they were leading to give him time off.
Yeah. This may be it. They may have time off after this tournament.
Shadow Ranger. Does Denise have a picture of... Does Andrew have a picture of Denise on his wall?
Yes, and it says, "Where's Denise?"
Does Denise have a picture of you on her wall?
I think so.
She should.
I think so.
One of those old 8x10s.
No, it's like a cute anime photo of me where I'm going like this.
You doing that?
Yeah, I'm doing like these.
Guys, submit your questions in the chat. We're going to take a few more, and then we're going to get out of here. It's 11:14 in the a.m. on a Friday. It's beautiful out. Have you been outside today?
No, I have to go to the city today.
All right. This is from Shrikanth. I think MG stopped working, by the way.
Just froze.
Shrikanth, Jericho, Moxley, and Cody on the other side. Bucks and Omega. Who, according to you, are the most important in AEW? In AEW's performance in its early stage?
I would say definitely the 3. Cody. Nah. On air, I would go Kenny, Jericho, and Mox. Those are the most important.
I'd say Cody definitely behind the scenes, Jericho for morale, and the Bucks just for inspiration.
Does Braun do the stable of dummies?
Maybe that's why he interrupted the tag team. He's just looking for recruits.
I need friends.
I need friends. I need to assemble a team of dummies. We're going to break into a dumb bank and get all that dumb money. What if, would you be upset if Braun teamed with Bad Bunny?
Oh,
At the next big event?
I don't want that.
And then they go back and forth, and Bad Bunny's trying to teach him how to do, like, Bad Bunny shit. And then Braun's like, no, you got to do this. Oh, choo-choo train. And then Bad Bunny's like, no, choo-choo train for me. Let's see. This is from... Let's do another one from Shadow Ranger here.
Okay.
If push comes to shove, who do you get rid of? Punk or the Elite?
Push comes to shove. Do you get rid of Punk or the Elite? I eat Punk.
Yeah. I mean, like, play fantasy booking for 2 seconds. What happens if Punk gets fired?
Nothing. I don't think it's going to play a big part. I think if they release him, yeah, maybe viewership wise, but I don't think it's going to be as devastating as people imagine it to.
Do you think Punk just like climbs back into his hole and does some more MMA, or do you think he's done?
I think he's
done.
He's done.
Media silence forever.
He'll probably do a couple statements and that's it.
Or entrant number 30 at the Royal Rumble.
Can you imagine? Anything is possible.
Blow the roof off that place, right?
Yeah.
What? Cody, Punk, Aleister Black, Roman, and The Rock next year headlining WrestleMania. Digi show right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who are you talking to, by the way?
You have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
I can always tell.
I know. It's become a fucking meltdown.
This is from Connor. Does the new regime have the power to move Raw back to 2 hours, or
No.
is it a USA call?
No. Nobody wants it 2 hours. That's the problem. They're making way too much money in that third hour. They will not do a third hour. Oh, what is this?
Oh, nice.
Why? Let me see. For me?
I don't know. It was literally on
The Cardoza Judges.
Wow, somebody left you a present, huh?
I think
Like
it
a
was
brand
Bob.
new shirt? Very
It is
weird.
a brand new shirt. Cardoza Judges.
You should put it on right now.
Where I went. I went to Cardoza High School.
Let's see here. So, yeah, like, you can't... You really can't fire the Elite, right?
No, you can't fire them.
Because they're kind of like, this is their company, essentially. You know, like,
Well,
Tony
more-
Khan pitched them the company,
Yeah.
you know?
No, you can't fire them. Unless they did something insane, you know?
Well, yeah, you know, like this could have been like, imagine if it went like this. Ace Steel throws a chair, bites Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega pulls a pistol out.
Then it's possible firing. But in wrestling, you know, you can stab people and not get fired.
That is
sometimes.
true.
So
Yeah, Drew McIntyre shows up with a giant sword every day.
Arn Anderson stabbed Sid.
I feel like, you know, like, I feel like
He
up
stabbed
until...
Sid, right? Or Sid stabbed him? Who stabbed him?
I think he stabbed Sid with scissors. I think that was the wrestling lore as like a receipt or something like that. Or he came at him with
No,
scissors.
Arn
Arn-
suffered 20 stab wounds.
Okay.
With a pair of scissors. Well, that's a fight.
This is a good question from Cadillac Carson. Do you believe the rumors that the Young Bucks super kicked the door down?
No, that's ridiculous. They didn't super kick a door down.
You don't think
that
so?
would be hysterical if they did like a triple super kick.
And then CM Punk was like, oh shit, it's real. Let's see here. This is from another one from BC Knight. Ask Mattman. If CM Punk retires right now, what would be his legacy?
Not positive. I think this would really, he would go down as, you know, just it would not be positive.
2-time AEW champ, world champ. He'd go down as a world champ,
Of course,
former MMA
yeah.
guy. It's, you know, like he's got a good legacy.
Yeah, but I mean, and then you see like how it ended.
Like
You
marred
know?
by injuries and this and that. I hope it
Yeah.
doesn't end. I hope the
He
guy
leaves
comes back super
WWE
healthy.
in a very negative way.
Yeah.
His MMA career does not go the path he wants. He goes back to wrestling, has this renaissance for like
Yeah.
a good year, you know, where he's around and he's doing cool stuff. He finally wins the title, breaks his foot on a stupid jump into the crowd,
Mhm.
out for months, comes back, tears his tricep, out again for 6 months, starts a brawl, possibly fired.
Yeah.
Now he has a legacy of being toxic in the locker room. It's not positive.
Yeah. I do think TK has a lot to do with where the outcome of this is gonna.
I think his decision. Yeah, you're absolutely right. His decision.
And he does strike me as a good mediator. You know, I think you have to be, especially with the stuff he does with his sports teams. You know, if Vince was still, this is from KKC. If Vince was still in charge, do you think he would have released a documentary called "The Self-Destruction of CM Punk"?
No, because they had all those years to do it, and they never did.
Yeah, what's a DVD? Shrikant asks, Hangman not discussing his promo with Punk caused this much mess, and Hangman didn't get suspended. What's your take on it?
I don't think Hangman did anything wrong.
Yeah.
But Hangman was, apparently the report is that people have spoken to Hangman about working too stiff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But you know what? I feel like at one point he didn't. And that Jericho match showed him
like how to work stiff.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because he has said on, I forgot what interview, where he was like, when he got into the ring with Jericho for the first time, it was legit the hardest he's ever been hit in his life.
Well, he's a thick boy.
You know, Jericho. And Jericho, Jericho leans it in sometimes, right? Cadillac Carson, do you believe the Young Bucks may have slapped their thighs when they entered
100%. The whole thing was just thigh slapping.
It's like,
That's how they're fighting.
Okay, Johnny says, it's so funny, the head of legal watching them kick in the door. LMAO, it never happened.
No, it never happened. There was no head of legal to kick it wasn't like a fight that just ended quickly. There was like a good couple minutes. It took like 6 minutes for this shit to settle.
It's weird that the report came out that it took 6 minutes. Like somebody was like, oh, here they go.
Yeah, like how do you know? Legal showed up, but legal wasn't like with I don't know. We'll find out the whole story.
Oh, so what else we got here? That's Mattman. Yeah, you want to do one more?
Yeah, one more and let's wrap it up.
Okay.
I got to get out of here.
Cool. Let's see here. Guys, give us one more awesome question, and we're going to wrap it up. Make it a good one, though.
Yeah.
Horny Harry's in the chat room. We got a lot of our regulars. Thank you for tuning in. Got a nice little watch along. You guys are watching, which we appreciate. And we'll be back next week live, of course, and tweeting during the week. Let's see what we got here. 5 of the 6 minutes. Harry says 5 of the 6 minutes of the melee was setting up a Canadian destroyer.
So funny. The head of legal watched them kick the. Okay, say that again. I'm sorry.
Harry said 5 of the 6 minutes was setting up a Canadian destroyer.
That's funny, actually. Good job, Harry.
Right. Okay, Johnny asks, who is Gunther's next opponent?
Who should it be? Maybe you do Pete Dunne. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But as Pete Dunne. Not as Butch.
Not Butch.
Let's end on this one. Another one from our friend Cadillac Carson. Will you guys slap your thighs to end the show? That's it. I do this.
Goodbye, everybody.
Later.
Bye, guys. Thank you.